Well, guys, I think it's time that we took action. We just can't sit back and watch gun law after gun law after gun law after gun law passed in this country by a bunch of congressmen intent on stripping away the foundations of the Constitution. It's time that we get rid of these congressional terrorists that are a thorn in our side. They don't have the right, people. You better start doing some studying. I mean, you can sit here and you can read this thing. And you understand it, I understand it, but they don't understand it. Now, what might help if you do some study, this is called the Second Amendment Primer. And Citizen's Guidebook to the History, Sources, and Authorities for the Constitutional Guarantee of the Right to Keep and Bear Arms by Les Adams. Paladin Press, Birmingham, Alabama. Well, one of the things in here, and so that you can understand, okay, it says here, the framers of our Constitution were born and brought up in the atmosphere of the common law, and thought and spoke of it in its vocabulary. They were familiar with other forms of government, recent and ancient, and indicated that in their discussions, in their early studies and consideration. But when it came to put their conclusions into the form of a fundamental law in a compact draft, they expressed themselves in terms of the common law, and confident that they could be shortly and easily understood. They wrote that Constitution so you can understand it and wouldn't have any problems with it. The language of the Constitution cannot be interpreted safely except by the reference to the common law. On every question of construction, let us carry ourselves back to the time when the Constitution was adopted and recollect the spirit manifested in the debates instead of trying what meaning can be squeezed out of the text or reinventing it against it to conform to the probable cause for which it was passed. You've got to watch these people. Now, like right now, they're trying to use the bump stock thing. It's just another way to gain control. You've got to watch you people. Now, some time ago, I was reading the Constitution again. It dawned on me. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution ratifies and preserves for every citizen the right to keep and bear arms, and moreover, that Congress or any other instrument of the federal government is constitutionally barred from infringing upon that right. They can't go making exceptions and compromises and everything. It stands for what it is. The whole Constitution and the Bill of Rights is your law. It's not for these left-wing democratic communist idiots on the other side. Doesn't give them the right to undermine that. There's been no constitutional convention, has there? You just can't go around changing laws. It's like at what's that called? The domestic violence law. Okay, they put a thing in there. That if there's like domestic violence in a home, that they come and they take away your guns. They can't do that. They maybe they could do it after 96 or 97 when they passed that law. But there's a thing called the ex post facto law, or the no bill of attainder law. They cannot come in there and just after the fact of something and change things around. Instead of things being a misdemeanor, is now a felon. You can't have a firearm. That's crap. I had a fella, a good buddy, he was a cop, and he had some problems with his wife because he worked second and third shift. She was running around on him. They had a little discussion about it one night. She slapped him in the face. He pushed her on the couch, and bingo, he had that strike against him. And after 96 or 97, he wasn't allowed to carry a firearm anymore, unless he went and got his got it expunged. Well, no American should have to jump through hoops or pay a lawyer or anything else for the right to keep and bear arms. Congress did not have the constitutionality to pass that law, but they hired some idiots, some supposedly people who knew the Constitution, but they didn't, because the Constitution, you have to study the Constitution. And nowadays, lawyers and stuff, when they're named a constitutional lawyer, they study what other judges wrote about it. They don't study the Constitution. That makes their views flawed. So, you know, this crap of sitting back, people, and waiting for something else to happen so somebody can try to take away your firearms, it's crap. They don't have the right. They will never have that right. They want you unarmed. More control, if you have control. If you want control over someone, you take away their ability to fight back in any manner. And that includes television, radio, whatever, or firearm. They'll use anything that they can to limit your actions. And we need to start taking action. Start educating yourself. I mean, even if you do it a little bit at a time, you know, learn what the Constitution is about and start fighting back at every doggone corner. Don't let these people scare you to death and, oh, now what am I going to do? I won't be allowed to own this. I won't be allowed to buy that. That's crap, people. That's freedom. Freedom. Stop letting them take away your freedom and your liberty. It's up to you. One person can't do it yourself, but you get the nation behind you, you got something to work with. Thanks for watching.